I'm Andrea Bauer, a member of the League of Women Voters of the Greater Dayton area, and I'm here today with the candidates running for Kettering Council District 1. The candidates are Lisa M. Duvall and Joseph D. Overhouser. We will start our interviews by giving the candidates 1 minute to tell us about themselves and why they want to serve the Kettering Council District 1. We will start that with Lisa Duvall. You have 1 minute to tell us why you would like to serve on the Kettering Council District 1.
Thank you, Andrea. I appreciate you and the league hosting us this morning. I've been on city council since 2021. I ran for the first time when the seat was open. Our district had the same representation for 10 years, and I didn't feel that we were represented in the way that made sense. We weren't listened to. And so I chose to run and I have worked very hard since being on council to listen to my neighbors and to hear what they want and what they need. I am a widowed single mother of 3. I work at a software company in Beaver Creek. In addition to city council, I serve on the Miami Valley Communications Council, who is responsible for aggregation. I serve as the Kettering Leadership Academy Council Liaison. I am on the Board of Community Relations, and I am the incoming president of Kettering Centerville Kiwanis. I work very hard in the community, and I am proud to be on city council, and I hope to serve another 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lisa. And Joseph D. Overhouser, I would like you to explain why you would like to be on Kettering Council District 1.
Hi, thanks for having me. My name is Joe Overhauser. I'm a married father of 4 Fairmont grads and grandfather of 3. I've lived in the city of Kettering for over 20 years. I'm proud to call it my home. I think we're one of the best cities in the area. I've a professional experience. I'm an information technology project manager at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. There I've managed multi-million-dollar projects, so I understand the government. I understand government contracting, the bidding process, and how to save the government money. And I plan to use those skills to help Kettering be a better steward of taxpayer money, which we're not currently doing as best as we should be doing in that regard. I've also been very active in the community over the years. Was a long time youth sports coach and multiple sports. And I also served as an administrator, vice president, communications director for the Kettering Youth Football Program. And I currently am a multi-sports official for many years now. Thanks.
Thank you both for your answers. We are going to move on to a series of questions now. I'll mix up the order for the questions. You will each have 2 minutes to answer the questions, and then I will move on to the next candidate, and they will have 2 minutes to answer the questions. Joseph Overhauser, will begin with you, and that first question is, what do you see as the biggest challenges facing the city?
Yeah, thanks for the question. That's a good question. I think the 2 biggest challenges are fiscal responsibility and safety. The city, we're one of the highest taxed communities in the Miami Valley. In fact, Montgomery County as a whole is the second largest taxed county in the state. And combine that with our really bad inflation problem, we just have an unsustainable issue with regards to increasing taxes, increasing cost of living. So the city needs to look at how we can better manage our resources to decrease costs and relieve hopefully relieve the tax burden on our residents. We're also facing increased property taxes due to reevaluations, and it's just an incredible burden on taxpayers. One program we need to look at in that regard is our curb and sidewalk repairs, which is they're doing in District 1 as we speak, and it's putting a huge tax burden on the homeowners and also tenants. I happen to have a tenant in the district as well, and facing over $4,000 tax bill for the curb and sidewalk repair. I may have to pass that on to my tenant. So it's a problem. I addressed the city council about this, and I didn't really hear anything other than from the city manager that they going to continue with the program. And why safety may be concerned, and we do need to look at those issues. We need to look at better ways of helping our citizens manage the finances, and we're not doing it. The other major problem we have in the city is safety.
Thank
we
you
need to
very
give
much for your
resources to our
response.
law enforcement. Thanks.
Thank you. And Lisa Duvall, I'd like to ask you the same question. What do you see as the biggest challenges facing the city?
I would start with business development, new business development, which is an ongoing issue for all cities. It's not always good news that you hear from the city, things like Tenneco closing. We are working to bring in new business. There's a lot of activity at Research Park in the business park. My hope is that we continue to revitalize Smithville. We have seen a lessening of empty buildings over there with new businesses coming in. I'm very, very happy about that. We need to look at our zoning and how our zoning policies affect the ability of small businesses to open. Oftentimes they're very restrictive, and we need to be more flexible with that. We are a landlocked city. We need to look at how we use our land resources, how we can use those resources to face the housing needs that we are finding are a big deal right now. Our housing stock is aging, and we need more housing and better housing. We need affordable housing. There are rising costs. Costs are going up for new construction as well as rentals, which are pricing families out of Kettering. Our schools are losing students because the families can no longer afford to stay in the city. We need to figure out how to keep more low and mid-income families to keep the community together. And of course, the always present financial concerns. Inflation, we have the tightening of budgets. In a couple of years, we're going to lose the Boonshoft money, which is a very big deal. And we want to keep our city services strong without losing services, basically, while keeping an eye on the finances. It's a tough job, and that's what we're looking at as a city right now.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Our second question is, what should the city council do to address the housing needs in the city? And Lisa, you were just talking about that. So would you like to continue some more with what should the city do to address the housing needs?
Absolutely. We have an aging housing stock, which presents a need for new construction, and it presents a redevelopment boom, which is great. But our land use policies, which shape our neighborhoods and shape the city, we need to re-examine those policies, possibly reduce height and density regulations, look at more creative small parcel development, and continue to look for mixed use opportunities like we've done at the Research Park. That is a way to bring new creative solutions to housing in. I think one of the biggest barriers to new housing is zoning. Restrictive zoning rules, they reduce the supply of land available, and it inflates the cost of new housing. So we need to find a balance between responsible zoning and flexibility in zoning that encourages growth. Kettering also has one very special little neighborhood, which is Greenmont in District 1. It is a mutual housing cooperative. It's one of the very few like that in the entire country. And looking at things like that and how can we do more creative things like that, that makes a big difference. These aren't flashy headline grabbing things. Nobody really cares about zoning until they're building, until they're bringing a new business in. And it's these small things that add up to increase the ability for us to have better housing stock and to meet the housing needs and to keep our families in Kettering. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. And Joseph Overhauser, would you please answer the same question? What should the city council do to address the needs the housing needs in the city?
I believe we're actually doing very well when it comes to housing the city. We have a lot of housing. We have a lot of different types of housing at many different levels of income. We're one of the more affordable suburbs in the greater Dayton area with great schools. I think we have from as far as the actual education goes, we have the best public school system in the area, and one of the best probably in the state and country as well. So we're doing very well, and we are landlocked, so we're limited. Being an older city, we're limited in the space we have for development, and so we do need to look at what we allow there and be very judicious there. I think we need to make sure that quality projects are there, that quality housing is developed, and and I think we want it to be affordable, but I also don't think talking to the citizens of Kettering, they are not interested in having low income developments in the city of Kettering due to the potential crime issues that would bring into the city. So I would be more supportive personally of mid-range when we're talking about multifamily buildings that would attract young professionals to our city. And beyond that, we just as I mentioned in the first question, we need to be better stewards of our taxpayer money, and we need to be able to lower the tax burden rather than increase the tax burden. If we lower the tax burden, housing is going to be more affordable. Like I said, we're very, very high taxed in this community, and it's just not sustainable. We need to do a better job at making things affordable, and that will alleviate a lot of the other issues. Thanks.
Thank you. The last question is, describe the skills and experiences you bring to the city council. And Joseph Overhauser, we're going to begin with you. So to describe the skills and experiences you will bring to the city council.
I've been working at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base a long time as a federal civilian. I'm an information and technology project manager. Have experience managing multi-million-dollar projects. I understand how the government works, how the bidding process works, how government contracting works, and what we should be doing to save money in that regard. And along with that, I have very good communication skills. And on the base, I have to deal with contractors. I have to deal with a lot of other organizations, different types of people, military officers, general officers, all kinds of different people. We have to interact as a team. So I have great team building skills that I will bring to the table, and reach out to the city. We're not doing as good a job as we should be and could be with communicating to the city and being more transparent. So we need to do better at that. We need to use technology to do a better job with that, and promote our events. We have events. We need, they're often in the middle of the day. People work and they can't always attend them. So we need to do a better job when we have a community forum, making sure everybody can attend it. So beyond that, I said I have experience as volunteer in the community as a coach, a youth sports administrator, and a multi sports official. So I understand the youth in the city, and we need to encourage and have great youth programs for our kids, particularly sports. We actually do have great sports programs. We need to continue that. Work with the parks to make sure that we continue to have good resources for that. So gonna have great team building skills, how to communicate well with people. And
thank you very much, Joseph.
Thank you.
And moving on with that question to Lisa Duvall, The question again was, describe the skills and expertise you will bring to the city council.
Serving on council since 2021, I certainly bring that experience and everything I've learned in that time. I'm very good at building relationships, at communicating, and with hopefully bringing the government to my neighbors as opposed to expecting them to come to the government. I've held community forums, things like that for my district to speak directly to the people and listen to my neighbors. I have a very strengthened ability since serving on council to listen to all the viewpoints in the room and to not just hear the viewpoints, but to consider those viewpoints. And there are people who I am politically completely opposite of that I have learned to appreciate and understand. They're correct in a lot of what they're saying, and their viewpoints are very valuable. And a lot of times they know things that I don't. And I think that is in very short supply right now. We need to be able to listen, to meet in the middle, and to find the common ground. And I am good at that. Also, I bring a voice to the room that is not always present at council. I am a single parent who fought very hard to stay in Kettering to raise my children. And I did that because of the schools, because Kettering is an amazing community. And I know what it means to struggle in our city. And I know what it takes to succeed. And it's been an amazing journey. And I want to make our city more welcoming for everybody. And that's what I bring to the table. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you both for your answers to these questions. In closing, we would like to provide each of you with 1 minute for a closing statement. And Lisa Duvall, we're going to begin with you.
Thank you. It has truly been an honor to serve on City Council. It's been amazing. And in the time I've been on council, we've done a lot of great things. We've started the strategic planning process. We've hired a new city manager. We've brought forward an aggregation, all of these great things. There are new tax incentives for neighborhoods in District 1 that are a direct result of new development that's coming. And that's all fabulous. And I'm very excited to continue to serve. And I would say that local government is not about the political issues that take up the air in the room at the national and state level. Local government is about, are the streets paved? Are the parks maintained? Are we bringing in new businesses? Are our public safety departments funded? That's what local government is about. And I hope to continue to work on those issues and represent my neighbors well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lisa. And Joseph Overhouser, 1 minute for concluding remarks.
Yeah, local government should be primarily about providing services that are necessary, but only those services that are necessary to our community, so we can keep expenses low. However, there has been a lot of what I would call extreme left-wing activities going on with our government in Kettering, particularly the Board of Community Relations, which my opponent happens to be the liaison for, and I believe was a member of before being on council. One thing they did was they in partnership, not really partnership with the school, I guess, but they set up at Fairmont High School an exhibit called Undesigned the Red Line without offering any opposing viewpoints on it. And it's a really radical idea that promotes things such as appraising communities, houses in certain lower income communities higher than they are, and also providing loans to people who normally wouldn't qualify for them. And that's really dangerous stuff to unfairly appraise a house.
Thank you very much,
taxes.
Joseph.
So we need to get that stuff out of our city. And I intend to do that. Thank you.
Thank you both for participating today. Good luck in both of your campaigns. The League of Women Voters encourages all candidates to run an issues-oriented campaign. Our goal is to educate the voting public and to strengthen our elective process. The annual Voters Guide will be distributed mid-October in the Dayton Daily News, Ames Media suburban newspapers, and at local libraries, schools, and businesses. However you decide to vote, your opinion matters and helps make our democracy work. Thank you.